Hey everyone, it's your family doctor here. Thanks for tuning in. Have you ever noticed that at some point these little things just started showing up on your skin? Maybe you've got these tiny flesh-colored stalks that dangle there, and when you pinch them, they just sway back and forth like they're about to fall off, but they never do. Or maybe yours are flat, darker patches that feel rough, not smooth like the rest of your skin. Some are soft, almost like little squishy bumps that press down and bounce right back. And then there are the hard ones, like little peas that feel like they're embedded in your skin. And no matter how much you try to pick them off, they won't budge. And if you go too hard, they bleed. And what's the worst part? They don't hurt, they don't itch, they're just there, quiet, silent. Like little ghosts that slowly take up residence on your body. You feel them in the shower, you see them in the mirror, but because they don't cause any pain, you just pretend they're not there. Days turn into weeks, months turn into years, and suddenly you realize they're multiplying, they're getting bigger. Now, what's the first thing most people think when they see these? That looks terrible, or I'm getting old. My skin is just sagging. Some people even convince themselves it's a good thing, like it's a sign of being well fed, or that it means your body has extra nutrition to spare. So you go to your doctor, maybe you see a dermatologist. They bring out the magnifying glass, the dermatoscope, maybe even do a little skin biopsy, cut off a tiny piece and send it to the lab. And after all that, they look at you and say, don't worry about it. It's just a skin tag or a seborrheic keratosis or a benign lipoma. It's harmless, it's not going to kill you, and if you tell them it still bothers you, they say, okay, we can laser it off, freeze it with liquid nitrogen, or do a minor procedure. But whatever you do, don't listen to those old folk remedies. Don't go trying anything crazy at home when I hear that. I can't help but feel a little frustrated. What do you mean, don't worry about it? What do you mean, just cut it off and you're done? Do you really think these are just extra parts? Do you think this is just what happens when you get older? Or worse, do you actually believe this means you're overnourished? Let me be very, very clear. These little bumps are not just a cosmetic issue. They are not just the price of aging. They are your body's distress signal. They are a warning sign from the inside out. They're telling you that your internal environment, your core vitality, your fire is starting to fade. The engine that powers your entire system is losing steam, and these skin growths, they're the alarm bells ringing on your dashboard. Why am I so passionate about this? Because I don't want to see you feeling fine today, eating whatever you want, living your life like nothing's wrong, and then years down the road, you collapse from something serious. And suddenly, every dollar you work so hard to save goes straight to hospital bills. You end up in the ICU with tubes and wires, all because you didn't recognize the first warning signs. We all work so hard our whole lives. We budget, we save, we sacrifice, we tell ourselves, I'm doing this so I can retire comfortably. And then what? We spend all that hard-earned money on hospital beds and specialists. That's not the retirement we signed up for. You think about it. When you're young, you work your tail off, you pinch every penny, you skip the nice dinners and the vacations, all so you can have something saved up for your later years. And then when you finally get there, you hand every last dollar over to the healthcare system just to lie in an ICU bed with tubes coming out of you. At that point, you can't even roll over on your own without help from a nurse. You can't even get a glass of water without someone bringing it to you. That's not dignity. That's not the life we want for ourselves or for our families. Think about this for a second. Why did people in previous generations have fewer of these growths? And why are we now seeing 20-year-olds with clusters of these little bumps all over their necks? This isn't just a cosmetic problem from the perspective of traditional medicine. These bumps all share a common root cause, and I'm telling you, if you're still breathing, if you want to live a long, healthy life into your 80s or 90s, you need to understand this. As long as you're alive, as long as you have any desire to reach a ripe old age in good health, you absolutely have to get this straight in your mind. Your body is honest. It doesn't lie when it grows these things. It's because something is blocked inside. There's not enough energy flowing. The sludge has nowhere to go. So it pushes out to the surface. It's waving a white flag. And what do? We chop off the hand holding the white flag and pretend the enemy is gone. That's like covering your ears while the alarm is blaring. The enemy, the real problem, is still inside, slowly eroding your organs, and you're only dealing with what's on the surface. What you're doing is plugging your ears and telling yourself the danger has passed, when in reality, the enemy is still marching through your internal organs. And the problem is only getting worse with each passing day. So today, I'm going to explain this in plain, simple language. No complicated medical jargon, no ancient philosophies, just everyday common sense. I'm going to show you how to read these little bumps like a roadmap to what's really going on inside your body. Please stay with me until the end. This could genuinely be one of the most important things you learn about your health. I'm going to teach you how to look at these little growths and understand exactly what condition your internal systems are in. Make sure you watch all the way through, because this might just be the turning point that changes the rest of your life. Let me use an analogy that everyone can understand. Think of your body as a pressure cooker. Inside that pot is water, that's your fluids, your blood, all the liquids that keep you alive. Underneath is the fire, that's your vital energy, the spark that drives every process in your body. It's what we call your life gate fire, the original engine that powers everything you do when that fire is burning strong and steady. What happens to the water? It boils, it turns into steam. In traditional medicine, we call this vaporization, and that steam is pure, clean, warm, and light. It rises through your system, nourishing your skin, fueling your organs, flushing out your blood vessels. Your body feels clear and open. Like a clean mountain stream, nothing dirty can settle there. Everything gets washed away. That's what a healthy body looks like on the inside, clear, flowing, unobstructed. But what happens if that fire goes out, or if it's just a tiny flickering flame like a candle in the wind that could go out any second? What happens then? The water stops boiling, it becomes cold and still, it turns into stagnant water, and stagnant water eventually becomes dampness, and dampness left unchecked becomes sludge, thick, sticky, like mud in a swamp. Have you ever walked by a stagnant pond? It's murky. It smells, and what grows there? Moss, weeds, algae. That's exactly what happens in your body when the fire dies down. The fluids your body can't metabolize just sit there getting thicker and stickier, and pretty soon they're like glue or paste clogging up every corner of your system. Here are 16 words I want you to remember. Write them down if you have to, because if you get this, you already understand half the battle. Water pools into dampness. Dampness congeals into phlegm. Phlegm travels with your energy. When energy stagnates, it forms a knot. So those little bumps on your neck, the soft lumps under your arms, the skin tags on your eyelids, the fatty lumps on your thighs, whatever fancy Latin name modern medicine gives them, they all share one common name: phlegm nodes. A node means a knot, a solid lump. When you see these, it means the phlegm and dampness inside your body are so heavy that they've condensed, just like boiling sugar water until the water evaporates and you're left with crystals. Same principle in traditional medicine. There's a principle: yang transforms energy. Yin solidifies matter. When your vital energy is strong, everything stays fluid and functional. When your vital energy weakens, things start to solidify. Those little bumps are a classic example of things taking form because your energy is too low. Today, it's just a skin tag or a lipoma. It's ugly, sure, but it seems harmless. But here's the thing, that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's like seeing a little mold on your bedroom wall. You don't just paint over it, right? That mold is there because you have a leaky pipe somewhere. The whole structure of your house is compromised. Same thing with your body. That phlegm node on your neck today could be a blood clot in your artery tomorrow, a stroke waiting to happen. It could be a fibroid in your uterus, a nodule on your thyroid, cysts in your breasts, growths in your liver or kidneys. And if that phlegm stagnates for too long, wraps itself in blood stasis, and gets inflamed, that's the C word, the one none of us want to say. That's when the toxic sludge inside you turns into something far more dangerous. So don't ignore these little bumps. They're your pressure cooker telling you something is broken. If you don't read the signs, you're basically waiting for that pressure cooker to explode. You don't need to be a medical expert to know that standing water goes bad. And once that fire dies in your body, it opens the door to every chronic problem you can imagine. Now, here's a question I get all the time. Doc, is this the same phlegm I cough up when I have a cold? Great question. In traditional medicine, there are two kinds of phlegm. The first is what you cough up, that's visible phlegm. It's the gunk in your lungs. But there's another kind that's more dangerous. Invisible phlegm, you can't see it, you can't cough it up, but it's there traveling through your energy channels under your skin between your organs. It's thick, pathological fluid with no fixed shape or location. It's like a ghost roaming around your body, settling wherever it finds a weak spot. A brilliant physician from the Yuan dynasty wrote, "Phlegm follows your energy up and down. There is nowhere it cannot go. This phlegm is not a passive lump. It's an active drifter. It moves with your energy. If your energy rises to your head, the phlegm goes to your head. If your energy drops to your feet, the phlegm goes to your feet." That's why so many people suffer from dizziness, tinnitus, blurry vision. It's often phlegm causing trouble. When your energy flows smoothly, the phlegm gets washed along like sediment in a fast-moving river. But when your energy is weak or stuck, that phlegm settles somewhere. Over time, it hardens like concrete, and that little hardened knot is exactly what you feel when you touch those bumps on your skin. So, where is this sludge factory? What's manufacturing all this garbage? It's your digestive system, specifically your spleen and stomach. In classical medicine, the spleen is called the foundation of your life force and the source of your energy and blood, but it's also called the source of phlegm production, and the lungs, by the way, are called the storage tank for phlegm. So your spleen is the general manager of your entire nutrition department. Everything you eat, every single bite, goes through your digestive system to be broken down and turned into usable energy. I like to compare the spleen to a hardworking ox plowing a field. It's also like the dispatcher of a delivery company, the logistics manager who makes sure every shipment gets where it needs to go if that ox is strong and healthy. It breaks up the soil, allowing water to drain and crops to grow. Your food gets properly transformed into energy and sent to every part of your body. If the soil is loose and healthy, when the rain comes, it absorbs what it needs and drains the rest. The soil stays balanced. But what happens when that ox gets tired or sick? What if you feed it too much ice cold stuff, greasy fast food, or heavy creamy desserts? That ox collapses. It lies down, the field stops getting plowed, the ground gets hard, water pools up, and the crops rot. When your spleen is weak, it can't transform your food into energy. The food gets processed in your stomach, but the nutrients never get delivered. They just sit there, right in your midsection, turning into dampness. At first, it's just water, then it gets thicker and becomes dampness. Then it condenses into phlegm, and then it forms those stubborn little lumps. Don't just take my word for it. Let's do a quick self-check. If you have any of these signs, it means your internal garbage processing plant is overwhelmed, and that hardworking ox of yours is exhausted first. Extreme fatigue and low energy. You wake up already feeling tired. Your whole body feels heavy, like you're carrying a bag of wet sand. Just walking up the stairs leaves you breathless. All you want to do is lie down and do nothing. That's called body heaviness, and it's a classic sign of internal dampness. Second, abnormal bowel movements. Your stool isn't well formed, it's soft, mushy, and sticky. It clings to the toilet bowl and refuses to flush away. When you wipe, it takes a whole roll of toilet paper to feel clean. You just keep wiping and it never seems to get fully clean. That's because the dampness in your body makes everything sticky and greasy, including your waist. Third, greasy face. This is the dampness rising to the surface. Look in the mirror. Is your forehead shiny? Your nose? Even after washing your face, it gets oily again within an hour. Your complexion looks dull, sallow, yellowish. Not healthy and clear. You look gray, tired, like the life has drained out of your skin. Fourth, bloating and puffiness. This is when fluids get trapped in your tissues. You feel like even drinking water makes you gain weight, but it's not real fat. It's water weight by the afternoon. Your lower legs feel heavy and tight. Your socks leave deep indentations around your ankles. If you press your skin, it stays dented for a few seconds before bouncing back. And the belly soft, loose like a lump of dough that just hangs there. Fifth, thick coating on your tongue. Stick your tongue out and look in the mirror. Is there a thick white or yellow film on it, like a layer of felt? So thick you can barely see the color of your tongue underneath. And do you see teeth marks along the edges? That's a classic scallop tongue. A dead giveaway that your digestive system is struggling and that dampness has taken over. These symptoms are your body screaming, "Boss, the warehouse is full, the delivery trucks are broken, we can't move this garbage out," and those little skin tags. They're just the trash that's overflowing from the warehouse and piling up on the street because there's no more room inside. If you don't clear out the warehouse and fix the delivery system, you can sweep the street all day long. And guess what? More trash just keeps piling up. You cut one off, two more grow. You burn one off. Three more show up. It never ends. Now, I know a lot of you are still thinking, fine, doc, I'll just go to the hospital and have them cut off, out of sight, out of mind. I get it. I really do. But I want to wake you up if you're still putting your faith in surgery as the solution. Over my years of practice, I've seen too many patients who started with one tiny bump and ended up chasing it from doctor to doctor, getting cut and lasered and frozen, and their health just kept spiraling downward. A small problem turned into a big one, all because we treated the symptom instead of the cause. It breaks my heart every single time I see it happen to someone who could have avoided the whole mess. Here's the thing, Western medicine is very good at the micro level. It's about fighting what you can see. If there's a bump, it's an invader, an abnormality, so you take it out. But traditional medicine takes a different view. It's about the whole system. It's about environmental management. When I see a bump on your skin, I don't just look at the bump. I look at your entire internal environment. I want to know why it grew there in the first place. And when I fix that underlying reason, the bump naturally resolves. Surgery is just scooping water out of a boiling pot without turning off the flame. The water keeps boiling and you keep scooping forever. You never actually solve the problem. You just keep chasing symptoms, but it's worse than that. Surgery isn't just expensive, it damages your internal energy. Even a minor procedure, even a quick laser treatment, still creates trauma. Every time you get cut, you lose blood. Every time you get burned, you disrupt your energy channels. Over time, all those small insults add up, and your vital energy gets depleted. And the more your energy drops, the weaker your fire becomes. The weaker the fire, the colder the water, the colder the water, the more sludge accumulates, the more sludge, the more bumps. It's a vicious cycle. You're actually making things worse, not better. You're consuming your own life force, chasing after something that surgery can never truly fix. A lot of our parents and grandparents lived frugally their whole lives. They pinched every penny, they saved and saved, telling themselves they were building a safety net for their later years. And then what did they do? They handed it all over to hospitals, tests, MRIs, CT scans, ultrasounds, surgeries, follow-ups. They get poked and prodded, and in the end, they're told it's benign, just monitor it. Or they get the surgery, it grows back, they do it again and again and again. It's exhausting, it's expensive, and they're left with scars on their body and a body that's weaker than when they started. They go in with a tiny bump and come out with a drained bank account, a weakened system, and the same problem waiting to come back. That's not medicine. That's a treadmill. I always remind my students of an ancient wisdom. A skilled physician treats phlegm by treating the energy, not the phlegm itself. When your energy flows smoothly, the fluids flow smoothly. What does that mean? A smart doctor doesn't stare at the bump and try to attack it. He regulates your internal energy. He reignites the fire under your pressure cooker. He gets the whole system flowing again. And when that happens, those little phlegm nodes, they melt away like ice under the spring sun, no knife required. Your body isn't a machine where you can just replace broken parts. It's a living ecosystem. If the drain is clogged, you don't just buy a new faucet, you clear the pipe and stop pouring grease down it. So if you're on the fence about whether to get those little bumps cut off, please slow down, take a breath, save that copay and that surgery fee, use it to buy yourself some real nourishing food instead, maybe even a nice cut of meat to make a good broth that actually supports your body. Because what I'm about to share with you next is the real game changer. It's about something you probably throw away every single day and how it holds the key to dissolving those stubborn little growths over time. Now that I've explained the logic behind it, you're probably asking, Doc, what actually works? What can I do? And this is where traditional medicine really shines. It takes complex problems and finds simple, elegant solutions. Sometimes the remedy is hiding right in your kitchen trash can. Things that seem like they couldn't possibly do anything turn out to be incredibly powerful when used the right way. Here's a hard truth I've learned over all these years. Expensive isn't always better. A lot of people chase ginseng, reishi mushroom, cordyceps, the expensive stuff. They think if it costs a fortune, it must be good for you. But listen to me carefully. If your body is already full of sludge and stagnation, and you start taking heavy tonics, you're not nourishing yourself. You're fertilizing the garbage. You'll grow those lumps bigger. Harder and faster, you'll actually feed the problem and make it worse. You have to clear the sludge first. You have to clean the house before you decorate it, get the trash out, sweep the floors, open the windows, and only then can you start bringing in the good stuff. There is one ingredient that was practically made for this job. It's aged tangerine peel. You might have heard the old saying, 1 ounce of aged peel is worth 1 ounce of gold. 100-year-old peel is worth more than gold. That's not an exaggeration. In our tradition, aged peel is not just a dried fruit rind. It's a brilliant guide, a navigator that can weave through your body's most hidden corners and slowly sweep out years of accumulated grime. It gets into the places that nothing else can reach and starts the cleaning process where it's needed most. The famous physician Li Shizhen wrote about it in his great herbal compendium. Aged peel complements tonics when used with tonics, purgatives when used with purgatives, ascending herbs when used with ascending herbs, descending herbs when used with descending herbs. It's the ultimate team player. It works with anything, but its real power, the power that helps with those little bumps, comes down to 3 things: regulating your energy, strengthening your digestion, and drying up dampness. Why is aged peel so good for these skin growths? Let's break it down step by step. First, it regulates your energy. Remember, phlegm travels with your energy. When your energy is stuck, the phlegm parks itself. It's like traffic on the highway. If there's a jam, the garbage trucks can't move and the trash piles up. The essential oils in aged peel give off a distinct, spicy, penetrating aroma. Have you ever smelled it? Doesn't it feel like your chest just opens up and you can breathe easier? That's exactly what it does inside. It unblocks the congestion, gets your energy moving, and breaks up the phlegm. Treat the energy first, and the phlegm will dissolve on its own. Second, it strengthens your digestive system. Aged peel has a bitter, warm quality that wakes up that exhausted digestive system. It's a cup of coffee for your spleen. It revs up your metabolism so you stop producing new sludge. That's what we mean by cutting off the source of phlegm at its root. You're not just cleaning up the mess, you're stopping more mess from being created in the first place. Third, it dries dampness and dissolves phlegm. It acts like a powerful sponge, soaking up all that sticky, turbid moisture in your body. It breaks down the knots, melts the little lumps, converts them back into liquid, and helps your body flush them out. It's like using a dry towel to soak up a spill, except it works on the microscopic level inside your tissues. The foundational formula for treating phlegm, developed over centuries, includes aged peel as the lead ingredient. Ancient texts describe its effect as striking a drum and hearing the sound immediately. That means you get fast results, it works quickly, but let's be real, most of us don't have time to go to a specialty store, measure out herbs, and brew up a complicated concoction every day. That's why I suggest the simplest, most practical, most lazy method of all: just steep aged peel in hot water and drink it like tea. Anyone can do that. You don't need special equipment. You don't need a prescription. You just need to know where to get good quality peel and make it part of your daily routine. Now, I need to stop you right here. Do not. I repeat, do not use the peel from a fresh orange you just ate. I've seen people dry fresh orange peels on their windowsill for 2 days and then brew tea with it, and then they come to me with stomach aches, acid reflux, and headaches. Why? Because fresh orange peel is harsh. It's wild, like an unbroken horse. The volatile oils are way too strong, plus most commercial citrus has pesticides or preservatives on the skin. That's not medicine, that's poison. It'll hurt you more than it helps you. Aged peel must be cured for at least 3 years. Over those years, with the right temperature, humidity, and microbial activity, the harsh, aggressive qualities mellow out. It becomes gentle, smooth, and reliable. It transforms from a wild stallion into a steady, dependable old workhorse that can carry you safely where you need to go. Only then does it truly work for your spleen and lungs, regulating your energy without damaging it, drying dampness without hurting your fluids. The best quality aged peel comes from a specific region known for its superior craftsmanship. It's widely recognized as the gold standard. A 10-year-old piece is truly a treasure. When you brew it, the aroma is rich, and the aftertaste is smooth and sweet, the kind of flavor that stays with you and makes you feel good just from smelling it. Now, you might be thinking, come on, Doc. A little piece of dried peel is going to dissolve lumps I've had for years, and I'll tell you, this is the art of leverage. Your body right now is like a stagnant pond full of toxic sludge. What does aged peel do? It doesn't go in there with a shovel and dig out the mud. That would be surgery. Instead, it opens the floodgates, it catches the wind, it gets your energy moving. The energy is the wind stirs the water moves the sediment, and by strengthening your digestive system, it gives your body the support it needs to drain the swamp. When your internal environment changes, when the pressure cooker fire burns bright again, those little skin growths lose their soil. They soften, they shrink, and eventually they disappear. That's the wisdom of using a gentle force to move a massive problem. It's like using a tiny lever to lift a huge weight. You don't need brute force. You need the right leverage, and I always put this out there clearly, there is no miracle cure for someone who refuses to help themselves. I can give you the prescription, I can explain the science, I can lay out the logic. But if you're sipping aged peel tea and then at the same time pouring ice water into that pressure cooker, taking it apart piece by piece, eating frozen foods, guzzling greasy meals, and staying up until 2 in the morning every night, then honestly, I can't help you. No one can. You can't fix a leak while you're drilling more holes in the pipe. You can't clear the sludge while you're dumping more grease down the drain. Change starts with your daily habits. Starting today, just skip that one iced drink, swap the soda or iced coffee for room temperature water, go to bed 30 minutes earlier, put your phone down before you crawl under the covers. Give your body the rest and the time it needs to repair itself. These things cost you nothing, no copays, no prescriptions, no surgery fees. It's just about making small, consistent choices. Start with one small change and let it grow from there. Your body will notice, and over time, it will thank you in ways you can actually feel. And here's the bottom line. Taking care of yourself is the best gift you can give your family. When you're healthy, your kids worry less, your spouse sleeps better, everyone in your household feels more at ease because you're not a source of constant concern. Your health is your greatest asset, and protecting it is the most loving thing you can do for the people who count on you. I'm your family doctor. And I'll be right here with you in the next video to talk about more practical health tips. See you then, and remember, this is for educational purposes only. Always consult your own doctor before making any changes to your health routine. If you're dealing with any health concerns, please schedule a visit with your primary care doctor. I'm here to help you understand the science, not replace professional medical advice.